How you doing, everybody? It's Thursday the 18th of February 2010 and it's just after 7 o'clock in the evening, and before I start this little posting tonight, I just want to basically touch back on the previous posting that I made, and it was a sort of a funny sort of posting on my part. And the reason I said it was funny was because at its core it was purely speculative, and it was me musing on and going on about what I felt was going to happen in between 3 to 6 months time about an attack on Iran. Okay, and I just got to go back to when I started these postings, when I started doing these little video snips. It was about a year ago, and I set out then to try, and there was like a policy in my mind, as it were, and basically it was to build up a forum where people would discuss immediate economic and political problems that faced them. Now, speculation was not part of that, and the reason it was not part of that because I basically see speculation as being a negative thing, and that's why I'm sort of critical of what I did last night. I should not have done that. Speculation basically borders on fatalism and sort of negativity, because it introduces a whole level of uncertainty that there's we do have no control over these things. But analysing them from that point of view, where there's just pure speculation involved, nobody gains anything out of it. There's no. It's not to our benefit, and that's there has to be a benefit to this. But what's the point of doing all this? Like, is this just massaging our egos? I don't want to do that. I'm too old for that. Forget about all that nonsense. The idea behind this is that we discuss things and we learn from one another's point of view, and that we end up as being a big, like a world community. Like I don't mean to be smart in saying that, but instead of having 200 or 300 people, if you had 5,000 or 6,000 people watching these videos, and they were all trying to communicate with one another, it would be like a network. It would be like a world network, like an unofficial world network, and it would have a powerful. It would have a powerful effect. It really would. I know you think, oh, how could 5,000 people? You would be surprised. You would be surprised at what 10 people could do. Never mind hundreds of people could do, when they're all focused on one thing. Anyway, so that's all really I want to say. I really want to say the thing that I did last night. I don't want to cry it or whatever, but I just want to say I think it does touch on an aspect that I don't want to do again. It touches too much on speculation, and I don't want to do that about political matters. We've enough problems dealing with the economic realities and the economic debacle and crisis that faces us today in the world without going down that route. So I won't be visiting that again, and I think that's a healthy way to deal with it, to be honest. I will deal with political problems as they come up, and if they're in the immediate future, I will, but not to speculate about what might happen 6 months or a year from now. I don't think it's not to our benefit to do that. All right, I want to be positive about this, and I don't want to be verging on nihilism or negativity or any of that stuff. Okay, so that's really all I want to say about that. The next thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about the killing of this Hamas man, and his name was Mahmoud al-Mahoud. All right, and he was killed. I think it was last week sometime. January the 20th, he was killed. And the reason I'm going on about it is I put a wee link up to this. You can have a look at it. It's from the Daily Telegraph today. I was looking through the various newspapers, and it's not a bad article. Some of them are to go on about. This one's a good article. It's very incisive. The reason I'm going on like as an Irishman about it is because it affects us in this little country. And what happened was about 18 people got together in Dubai and they killed this guy. Now there was about 11 of them directly involved, and it made up of 1 or 2 teams. That's normally the way these things are done. They have a team A, and if team A doesn't get the guy, team B will get him, or whatever. Okay, and then they have supporters. They've got spotters and supporters that are on the ground looking out for them. Okay, and they're all basically communicating with one another by nefarious means. Okay, so out of the 11 people who were actively involved in the actual killing of the guy, it turns out that 6 of them had British passports, 3 of them had Irish passports, and one of them had a French passport, and one of them had a German passport. That's 11 people. Okay. And what happens is, it turns out that the 3 Irish passports were legitimate passports, but they were stolen. They were taken, or they were acquired certainly by nefarious means, by not legal means. And the 6 that were the British passports were the same. They're identical. So there are real people out there who own these passports, and their lives are in danger. Their lives are in serious danger. But there is an extrapolation to this. And before I go on any further, I want to say, by the way, again, it's a touch of speculation, but it's real speculation. There's only one country carried this out, and that's the Israelis. They were the only ones that coup on who benefits. You know, it's the old Roman expression: who benefits? You if you have a serious crime, that's what the Roman magistrates used to apply to every serious crime. Who benefits? Who benefits the most? That's normally, in 99.9% of cases, that's who carried it out. Either them or their agents. So we're talking about Israel here. And anyway, that's their MO. They have a modus operandi like that all over the place. This is what they do. They specialise in this sort of thing. You must remember, this organisation of which this man was the senior commander, and this Hamas, this is the only organisation that has ever really put it up to the Israelis in like 30 or 40 years. This is a serious crew, this Hamas. So it would have been very, 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 they would have been keen to get this guy, and at all costs. And it sends out a huge message to the whole Arab world, and especially to Hamas. If you leave any of the Arab controlled areas, we're going to get you, and you're safe nowhere. And look what we can do to one of your commanders, one of your leading commanders. Imagine they were able to get that guy, they were able to get him out into Dubai, into a sort of a fairly liberal type Arab country. When I say liberal, you know what I mean, it was a fluid type Arab country. They were able to set up a massive operation, and they were able to kill him and escape. Their operatives were able to escape. But anyway, the bottom line of it is, it puts the 3 people who are Irish and the 6 people who are British on the German person, on the French person, those 11 people, puts them in serious threat of being assassinated if they ever go into an Arab control area or an Arab country. Their lives are in serious danger. But there's also an extension to that argument. What happens if you're a Paddy, you're a Brit, and you're carrying a passport, any passport, your own passport, or say it's me, and I go to an Arab country, and I just happen to look like some Israeli guy that they have on a photograph. I just happen to look like him. I'm dead. Or I'm certainly not going to be too welcome. I'm not going to be made too welcome. So this is the extension of this. The extension of this is not too good. So we'll wait to see what the fallout is. I don't think there will be any big fallout. I think the Israelis probably built in and factored in everything and took the risk. This is powerful stuff they're about. This was a major operation. This involved hundreds of thousands of dollars, or more, maybe more. There was months of planning in this. This is the most sophisticated thing you can imagine. The actual thing is very brutal at the end of the day. They electrocuted the guys for real brutal stuff. It's a plug into the mains job, and wind probably capacitors or something on his head, and he's dead. But very brutal stuff. But the lead up to it was extremely sophisticated, and there's only one country in the world outside of America could have done it, or maybe the French or the British or something. They don't gain out of doing it. They're not going to do it. Hamas doesn't pose them any threat. So anyway, that's that. So we'll see what the outcome of that is. Okay. The final thing I just want to talk about is the Greek problem. We have a situation at the minute where, as I told you before, these Greeks are not just going to roll over and pay this money. All right. The Germans have made all sorts of rumbling noises about it, and the Greeks have responded in kind, as I told you they would do. This is a serious country. Do not mess with these people. They've put up with a load of shite over the last 100 years, and they're not going to put up with any more shite of anybody over money, over nothing. And you see, if you have been putting up with all this crap, people taking your men folk away and killing them and sticking them into labour camps and civil wars and all that, dealing with money it's a joke. It's a fucking joke. That's an easy one. So anyway, we'll talk more. Okay, I'll put the links up to these things. You have a wee look at it. All right, bye.